Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
I'm Lindsey Deluce.
And I'm Kelsey McEwen. Today on the show, we've got so much coming up, including my sit-down with Lily James. We talked method acting, musicals, and her brand new movie, Swiped.
Yeah, it was a really fun conversation. The two of you seem to click really, really
Like
well.
besties.
Like best.
Are you new besties with Lily James?
Yes, I want to be friends forever. That sounded weird. It's just a great conversation. You'll enjoy it.
Also coming up in this half hour, we're going to look at why Machu Picchu could lose its title as one of the new wonders of the world.
Okay, speaking of wonders, how about soccer stars? Matt Scooby spoke with Richie Laryea on what it means to be part of the national team ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Here's that conversation.
Well, millions of fans are hoping to catch a match at the 2026 FIFA World Cup. More than 4.5 million people signed up for access to tickets during the first pre-sale draw that wrapped up on Friday. The largest demand, unsurprisingly, came from the three host countries, the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And for the fans who snag tickets to watch one of Canada's games, they will certainly be seeing Richie Laryea take to the field. He's a member of Canada's men's national team and is joining us this morning from Toronto. Good morning, Richie.
Morning, guys. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for being with us. First of all, it's hard to understate what this is going to mean, right? You grew up in Toronto, you went to high school here, you played for Toronto FC and TFC. Canada's first match of the World Cup is going to be played in Toronto. What is that going to mean to you?
It's going to be huge. It's such a big opportunity for our country, again, to really cement ourselves as a soccer, footballing country. I think it's going to be very special. And obviously for me, I think being from here with my family, migrating here from Ghana and being here for a very long time now, it's going to be a very special opportunity for obviously myself and my family, but then I think more importantly for all of the Canadian Soccer Association. And then I think even bigger is for the fans in the country. It's going to bring an all-new hype to this country for soccer, and I think it's going to really steer this thing in a really, really good direction.
I get chills, Richie. I can only imagine I got chills thinking about it too, right? Now, no soccer career is a direct path to the World Cup. You're no exception. You've dealt with injuries, right? You've had some moves to teams over recent years. How do challenges like those in your career prepare you for this type of competition?
Yeah, I think those challenges that you get within your career make you stronger or weaken you, So I think you have two options in the path you want to take when that happens. And yeah, lucky enough, I was able to have some strong people in my corner who have helped me get by moves that haven't worked out and injuries that have taken me out for a while. So yeah, I think these type of problems, you can turn them into good problems because they help you down the line, like you said, in a big tournament here like the World Cup where anything can happen. I think you need to be able to deal with adversity and turn that into a positive situation pretty quickly.
I want to go back to 2022, if we can, right? You were on the field. You have some pictures here. 2022, Alphonso Davies scores Canada's first ever goal at a men's World Cup. You're celebrating with him. Have you, as you start to think about this, we talk about the chills, have you imagined what it's going to be like to step out onto the field, to hopefully see Canada's first World Cup goal scored on home soil?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because I'm usually a day-to-day guy. I don't like to look too far ahead, but yeah, this one's a little bit difficult to not look ahead on. But yeah, I remember that moment very vividly when Fonzie scored against Croatia. I mean, it was really early in the game, and the emotions running through the whole team were, immense because that was our first goal at a World Cup and against an opponent that's been good for several World Cups now. So yeah, it was a big moment, I think, for our country to get that goal. Obviously, the result didn't reflect the early feelings in the game, but yeah, I think now looking forward to next season, next World Cup it's special because, like you said, it's on home soil. A lot of the guys on the national team are GTA based as well. So I think not just myself, a lot of the other guys are really looking forward to this. And yeah, to be able to step foot on the field, hear the anthem, be there for, a World Cup on home soil, not many people are going to be able to ever say that they've done that. So yeah, again, I'm doing day by day and I need to get there first, but it is super exciting to think about that.
Yeah, still over 250 days, but it's going to come quickly. You talked about the Canadian fans earlier. What about your personal fan base? Your family, your mom and dad have made huge sacrifices for you, your wife, your children, your siblings. I know that everyone's going to be there in the stands cheering you on, but what has their support meant to you as you get ready for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think I'm more excited for them actually than I am for myself. You know, this is football runs in my family from obviously having Ghanaian roots. So my parents, brother, sister, very excited. And yeah, my wife and my kids are also going to be very excited. I've kind of forced them now to like soccer, so we're all a big soccer family. So yeah, it's gonna be special. Their support has meant everything to me. It's helped me get to where I am today. Without them, I wouldn't be able to be where I am. So I know that they know that, and yeah, it's definitely a very special group of people I have in my corner.
Well, soccer fans and beyond are counting down the days. Richie Laryea, men's Canadian national team, thanks so much for being here this morning. We really appreciate you taking the time.
No, thank you guys. Nice speaking to you.
Coming up, why the credibility of Machu Picchu, one of the new wonders of the world, is being questioned.
These places are, of course, wonders for all of us, whether they're voted or not. But these are voted. They are chosen, as you rightly said, by over 100 million votes. And Machu Picchu has to honor that. And recently, the situation has been terrible.
A surge in fraud across the country is bringing Canada's largest banks, telecom companies, and law enforcement agencies together under a new alliance. So the Canadian Anti-Scam Coalition, that's what it's called, says it will launch a, quote, comprehensive national education campaign next month to help Canadians recognize fraudulent phone calls, online ads before becoming a victim. For more on how this group is going to function, we are joined by tech analyst Carmi Levy. Carmi, nice to see you.
Good to be with you, Lindsay. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so this Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, well, that says it has received more than 24,000 fraud reports from more than 17,000 victims so far this year. And this is a huge number. Look at that on your screen. That fraud has led to $342 million in losses for people. The group also notes that fewer than 10% of fraud cases get reported. So what is driving the volume that we're seeing of scams right now?
It's ridiculously easy to do. You don't have to be an expert in fraud in order to prosecute a fraud attack. In fact, you can just go online and get a kit for this to cover a very large sort of, victimology. Artificial intelligence is also making it ridiculously easy for these attacks to happen because they can, for example, voice cloning. They can record your voice, pretend to be someone who you know, and then you think it's them, or even video. And so the scale, the sophistication of these is growing over time. The dollar figures are going up. It is, as you said, significantly underreported. And also the laws that would protect us against this kind of activity simply haven't been updated to reflect today's technology. So it's fairly easy to get away with, and criminals know this, so they just keep pouring more resources into it.
The coalition says Canadians come across billions of scams every day. Billions of scams every day. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is, and the numbers continue to go up, obviously, because the technological landscape is making it easier to do and much more difficult to be caught. And also, we're leaning more heavily on our devices, on our smartphones, on our computers, on social media apps, direct messaging within them. And so as time goes on, they're meeting us where we are, and they're pretending to get within that circle of trust. They're pretending to be people that we know, friends, family members, employers, banks, government agencies. And so we almost can't tell the difference, thanks to the sophistication of these attacks, between legitimate messaging and non-legitimate messaging. And most of these attacks, most of these frauds often start with what looks like a fairly innocuous message, maybe from your bank about a payment, or from your kid about they need some money for tuition. And next thing you know, it's spiraling into a major crisis.
Okay, so this coalition, let's break this down. So big banks, telecom companies, law enforcement agencies coming together. What are they going to do? Like, what's the plan?
Their tagline is, the hashtag is stand against scams, and they say they want to help everyone fight back, remove much of this content from the internet so that if there's less fraudulent messaging out there on a website, in your inbox, on social media, then we're less likely to encounter it, fewer opportunities for criminals to do what they do. They also want to make it easier for consumers to get resources to better protect themselves. So raise our individual education levels, become better trained so that when we see something like this in our inbox, we know, that's not legit. I shouldn't engage. I should instead report and block.
Some experts are raising questions, Carmi, over whether the coalition does enough for victims of fraud. So post-fraud, really, I mean, Canadian banks, who are part of this group, are not legally required to refund the money customers lose from scams. Will we see a change here, do you think?
I mean, this is really, if we want to look through a cynical lens, this is a PR campaign by involved stakeholders. And no, the law has not changed. Consumers are still lacking that protection. Banks are still under no requirement to give back the money. They can still use the excuse that, well, because they were defrauded, because they provided the access to criminals, they might have logged in, they might have given out private information that made these attacks possible. Then they're not going to be refunded. So until the laws change, it's great to have greater awareness. It's good for the industry to get around the table and talk about it. But we're still not going to see consumers being refunded for these things. Nothing really changes on the ground. And unfortunately, we're still going to continue to see these kinds of frauds increase both in number as well as sophistication.
Tech analyst Carmi Levy, good to see you as always. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Lindsay.
Well, one of the new 7 wonders of the world could be losing its title. Machu Picchu, of course, located in Peru, was named one of the new wonders of the world back in 2007 after receiving over 100 million votes in a global competition. Now, the organization behind that campaign is questioning the ancient Inca ruins' credibility. Joining us now from Jakarta, Indonesia, is the organization's director, Jean-Paul de la Fuente, director of the New 7 Wonders Foundation. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning to you.
So why is Machu Picchu at risk right now of kind of losing this title and credibility as one of the new 7 wonders of the world? Set it up for us.
Well, it's been a cumulative thing, Teddy. The fact is that these places are, of course, wonders for all of us, whether they're voted or not. But these are voted. They are chosen, as you rightly said, by over 100 million votes. And Machu Picchu has to honor that. And recently, the situation has been terrible. I mean, basically, tourists have been held hostage. There's price gouging. There's a risk of basically what we call tourism terrorism. And we've been saying to them for a while, there's better ways of doing this. And unfortunately, they haven't been listening. So we now have issued a statement about 10 days ago saying, well, frankly, the question is, can you continue to be a wonder given everything that's going on?
Yeah, and so in terms of everything that's going on, as I said, it was added to the New Wonders of the World list back in 2007. How long has your organization been managing this strife down in Peru around Machu Picchu?
Well, obviously, we're not directly responsible. We're a bit like the, let's say, the FIFA or the NHL of these global voting campaigns. But we do consult and work with and support and help all these places as much as we can. I've been speaking to them over the past 5 years about doing something about it, and they just haven't. And it's very disappointing. And I think for the Peruvians in particular, and anybody who's had the chance of visiting Machu Picchu, it's a shock to hear that it could no longer be a wonder. We hope to do things to make sure that it does retain its title.
Yeah, and so on that theme, I mean, what, in your opinion, in your organization's opinion, needs to change? And is there anything already being kind of addressed or done to address these different issues?
We think it needs to be taken seriously at a national level by the national government. We met with them last week. They're doing things. We're very happy about that because clearly the current situation couldn't continue. And we're hoping to set up a working group to deal with it very practically. You see, Machu Picchu is like a funnel when you get there. It's a very small approach, and a very few amount of people can really cause problems for what is in fact millions of Peruvians because it's such an impact on the economy. These wonders are very important for the national economies.
Yeah, so many people visiting this site, especially the last few years. So if short-term and longer-term solutions can't be arrived at, could Machu Picchu be replaced with another site as a wonder of the world? Like, is that the potential outcome of all this?
So I'm nodding because it sounds like a yes, but in fact, I'm nodding to say I'm not going to answer that question simply because it's premature, not because it's something that we don't have a plan for, but we do feel that the energy should be focused now on fixing it. That's our objective. That's where everything is aligned and hopefully will work out. But of course, we do have a plan for that eventuality, but we won't go into that until hopefully it's not necessary.
Right. Yeah, really interesting discussion. Okay, thanks so much for joining us. Jean-Paul de la Fuente, director of the New 7 Wonders Foundation. Appreciate you being with us.
Ahead on your morning, putting a twist on some classic fall desserts.
There we go. Making s'mores.
Right? Look at that.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Okay. So
I don't know how
then
to turn it off.
Turn it off.
All right, my hungry friends, it is the first week of astronomical fall, which also means it is officially pumpkin season. Woohoo! It's the perfect time of year to enjoy some fall treats, and today our pal, food expert Jason Skrobar, is getting creative with some of your favorite fall desserts. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
Good to see you. And a reminder, all of the recipes today, there's the QR code on the screen, right up there. Give it a scan, and you can get them at home. It's good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you.
So we're like taking fall classics,
and we're kind of having fun with them. And
I love that.
You know, so we've got the classic pumpkin pie, which, you know, love it.
It's kind of the start of the show when it comes to fall desserts.
But let's do something a little bit elevated, a little bit fun.
Okay.
So I'm gonna reveal what this is, and then we're gonna make one. So these are pumpkin spice profiteroles. So profiteroles are basically a choux pastry, which is a French pastry, really simple to make, recipes on the website. So I made these this morning, and then what I also made is a pumpkin spice pastry cream.
Oh my goodness.
And so the way that we do this is we take the bottom and we poke a hole in it with the a pumpkin spice bag, and then we're going to pipe the filling into it. So I'm going to give you that.
Pipe it into the profiterole.
Exactly. I'm going to give you that.
Oh, I've never done this before. This is exciting. So I just go like that?
Yeah, poke a hole.
Okay.
And then press.
Oh, this is really fun.
Go.
Oh, there it goes.
And then,
Woo!
Okay, and then that.
And then I eat it directly?
And
do I take a moment? Okay, and what do I do next?
Then, well, basically, we've got some on your hand, but we didn't want to fill it that much. Basically, you want to then take it, and you're going to add the topping.
I got excited,
okay? And then these are some candied nuts.
Oh, candied nuts.
You can try one here because they're finished.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's it. It's really simple. These, again, very simple to make on our website.
I love this.
And then this is the finished product. The next one.
We were talking about candied nuts earlier in the show.
Oh, well, I wasn't listening, but.
Yeah, it's very good. And then, so next one is kind of like your take on apple crisp, right?
Yeah,
That's
so
another
apple
classic.
crisp, another classic fall dessert. What I did is I made these caramel apple marshmallows. So these are fun on its own, but what I wanted to do is take it up another level.
As you do.
So we're going to make caramel apple s'mores.
Oh my goodness.
So we've got the marshmallows on top of graham crackers. I have my handy dandy torch here, and stand back, I'm gonna torch one of these, just like
it's like we're in a science lab. Yeah.
For.
Can I do one little part?
Yeah, you do one.
Yeah, this is fun. Look out. Cool. There we go. Making s'mores.
Right? Look at that.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Okay. So
I don't know how to turn it off.
We'll turn it off.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add a slice of apple to each one.
I see. Oh.
And then we're gonna also add a little bit of caramel sauce.
Okay.
And then you're gonna top it with.
Oh, this is great.
The other graham cracker. And it's a bit messy.
And now you got a s'more.
But you know what? These are caramel apple s'mores.
I love this.
And
I overburnt them a bit, but this looks really good.
A little bit of torching is perfect.
Yeah, love this idea of kind of reinventing the classics. Obviously, another fall dessert classic, carrot cake. So how are you putting a new spin on that, my friend?
Of the three, carrot cake is my favorite.
Okay.
You enjoy that.
I will do.
And basically what I did is I took all of your classic trappings of a carrot cake and I made it into a candy bar. So I made a filling that's got cream cheese and carrots and brown sugar, and then I topped it with some white chocolate, some more candied nuts, some coconut, and just sort of like had fun with it. Because this is the thing, is like when you're in the kitchen and you're thinking about all of these fall desserts, you can absolutely do what's classically, you know, known as these desserts, but then you can also have a little bit of fun and just, you know, again, the recipes are on the website. From easiest to a little bit more difficult to the most difficult, because these are a little bit, you know, hard to make, the marshmallows, but so much fun. And kids are absolutely welcome to make any of these.
Are you a wizard? Because you're casting a culinary spell on us right now. I love this. This is amazing. And a reminder, you can get all the recipes right there at that QR code. This is really cool, Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How's the carrot cake candy bar?
They've all been really, really good. This may be my favorite of the three, but I will finish all of them.
Please do.
Yes, yes. Indeed. Jason Skrobar, everybody.
Her name has been in the headlines for years, and now her story is coming to your screen. In 2021, Whitney Wolfe Herd became the world's youngest self-made female billionaire after she took her app Bumble public. Before that, she helped launch Tinder, a company she later sued for sexual harassment after resigning. Lily James transformed into the role of Herd in her brand new movie Swiped, and I recently had the chance to sit down and chat with her about it. Take a look.
I don't think they list you as a co-founder. I built Tinder with them. They can't just delete me. I'm done following the rules. We need to change dating.
Lily, thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thank you.
In the film, you play Whitney Wolfe Herd. So she's the founder of Bumble. She had been at Tinder, started there, resigned in 2014, and then filed a lawsuit against them for sexual harassment. And that case was settled. She signed an NDA, so she couldn't comment on her experiences there. And she's not involved in the making of this story. So I want to ask you, how did you do your research for this character, and how did you really sink into the role?
I love preparing for roles. I love beginning to sort of lose myself in a character and learn as much as I possibly can and sort of become an expert in that kind of field or whatever it is when you're preparing. And I watched everything I could of Whitney and learned about her and read about her so that I could try and capture the essence of whatever it is that feels important in terms of bringing her to the screen and our version of Whitney.
It is a problem if it starts driving women away. I mean, now it's kind of hard to run a dating app without them.
Yeah, I mean, we need to be practical, not emotional.
There's a line in the film where she says, how about I go first? And it's this moment of like confidence and agency. And I wondered, has there ever been a moment for you in your career where you've said, I got this?
Well, actually, it was brilliantly kind of kismet in that this role came to me and then I came on as a producer and simultaneously I was building my production company, and so there felt like this moment where I was kind of at the same time as playing Whitney and trying to portray her incredible legacy. I was also building my own company, so there was this sense where I was like, oh, I've got this, I'm in this, I know what I want to do with this, and this really matters to me, and that felt very empowering.
Was there inspiration?
Yeah,
there?
great inspiration. I've been so inspired by playing Whitney, and I really, I was so struck by the script when I read it. I couldn't believe I didn't know this story, and I couldn't believe the way in which she channeled her experiences into something, the good and the bad, into something so positive, and really changed the game for women in terms of how we communicate online, making the internet safer for women, putting women in the driver's seat, and I was like so inspired by this story, and that's my ambition with this film, is that our viewers feel the same as I did when I read the script.
I built Tinder with them. If they can just delete me, it's like they've done nothing wrong.
You say anything, they can sue.
Do not take the bait.
What is it about producing that is so appealing about that role?
I really just wanted to have agency in the storytelling. Sometimes it's so great just to turn up as an actor and you can just, all you have to think about is getting there and, being in the moment and telling the story in terms of acting. But with this, I really wanted to be involved in all the choices, the creative choices, and then in the edit, the kind of incredible experience of really putting a film together. And to be involved in that really, in the first time with such kind of in earnest was so exciting. And we had such an incredible team on this movie and producers that have been building this for the last 7 years. And so it was just great to all link arms and tell this story.
What is this big secret project you are developing?
We need to change the rules of online dating.
You've spoken about being inspired by artists who can jump genres, and you've done that in your own career. You've got this fearlessness as you transition from role to role, and you've been called the ultimate chameleon. So I wonder, is there any sort of character or genre that you're excited to sink your teeth into that you haven't yet?
Yeah. So much. I feel like I'm just getting started. I'm doing an action movie next, which will be really fun. I love doing physical stuff, getting in my body and outside of my head. And I really want to sing more. It's like, was my first love really as a kid. And so I definitely have ambition to do more musical projects.
The light in your eyes when you said that, I'm a singer too.
Really?
And yeah, growing up, my parents used to always say, like, when I was happy, I was singing.
That's exactly what my family said to me.
My God.
They can tell because I just be like singing as I do stuff and around the house. And I think it connects to your heart, your emotions, because you have to be so open to sing. And I think it's really, I feel the same.
Yeah, well, I hope that for you too. I hope we get to see you sing more. Well, I'm sure thankful that we got to see you in person today, Lily.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for the conversation.
Thank you so much.
Fight for what you've built. My name's Whitney Wolfe, and I'm starting a revolution.
And you can catch Lily James in Swiped on Disney+. It's out right now.
Next week on Your Morning, how to spruce up your home before company drops by, just in time for Thanksgiving. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
I'm Lindsey Deluce. Good morning.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. It's great to have you back for the second half of the show.
Coming up, we have my sit-down interview with retired PWHL goaltender Erica Howe, who shares her experience on being diagnosed with cancer at the age of 32. It was a really thoughtful conversation. It was eye-opening. She talked about how her teammates played a big part in getting her diagnosed.
Yeah, it's a really great conversation, all about the importance of community, about what it means to be surrounded by your friends, your family, your teammates, and really your people, and what that does for recovery.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Another conversation a lot of Canadians are having lately is about real estate and the ever-changing condo market specifically. We surveyed markets right across the country to answer the question, is right now a good time to buy a condo?
We've been reporting this for months. I mean, the condo market is in a free fall. We've heard that term. Prices are sinking, sales are down. You've heard that too, right? The Canadian Real Estate Association says the average price for a condo in July in this country was about $490,000, which is about $80,000 less than the average high in 2022 in April. So it got us thinking, because I think a lot of people are having this conversation. Does that mean now is a good time to buy a condo? Here to help us answer those questions is mortgage broker Leah Zlatkin. Great to have you on this morning.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So let's look at Canada as a whole. So if I said to you this morning, is now a good time to buy a condo in this country, what would you say?
My personal opinion is if you are buying a condo to live in it, to own it, to keep it for the next, 10, 15 years, you don't plan on changing anything having to do with your job, you don't plan on changing your family size, you don't plan on changing who's living there, and you're very happy to go there, absolutely great time to buy a condo for personal use and to hold it for a long time. The market is oversaturated, and as a buyer, you can get a really great deal. So absolutely the right time if you plan on moving in yourself and holding it.
I love the variables
planning
there.
on buying it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, because I think I know what you're going to say, because there are two conversations happening here, right? There's that conversation you just mentioned, which is the longer term, where you're basically not going anywhere, you're not getting into a new relationship, not having more children, whatever it is, that is your condo for, 15, 20 years. But then there's the conversation around, okay, the prices are lower. Should I buy one for the short term to get me into the market, or potentially should I buy a condo as an investment? So can I ask you, can we take a look across the country? I'm going to ask you the same question with the lens. It's going to be a short-term purchase, shorter term saying under 10 years, let's say, or as an investment. Okay, so should I buy a condo in Halifax as an investment?
At this point in time, and I'm a mortgage broker, so please take that as a caveat. Right now, what I'm seeing is it's not a great time to buy in Halifax as an investment property. The reason for this is that there's been an explosion of rental builds, and it's a very oversaturated market. If you plan on flipping that unit, or you plan on trying to get crazy market rents for it, it may not be the right time for that.
Okay, let's turn to Montreal. Is it a good time to buy?
Montreal's an interesting one, actually. So out of all the different places in Canada, Montreal has seen better appreciation on the units over time. There's a history of rentals in Montreal. The units are typically larger than you're finding in terms of condos across Canada. And the economy hasn't been so badly impacted. So when you look at the prices of condos in Montreal, they're about 30 to 40% cheaper than they are in other parts of the country. So depending on whether it's the right unit and whether you have the right tenants, Montreal is a maybe. Toronto's market is extremely oversaturated. There's lots of condos hitting the marketplace. There's excessive supply and very little demand from what we're seeing. So again, I wouldn't necessarily buy a Toronto condo as an investment. And that also has to do with, tenancy laws in Toronto and how little people are actually able to charge for rent these days as rent prices come down, and how much power tenants have over landlords.
Moving west, what about Calgary?
Calgary was pretty hot up until about 6 months ago. Now I think there's some doubts creeping into the market there. People may start walking away from some pre-construction in Calgary. So again, I would hold off on any kind of investments unless you plan on holding for a very long term.
And what about Vancouver?
Again, it's a pretty muted version of Toronto. So I would say the same thing I say for Toronto.
As more people get called back to work full time, like they have to be in the office, so they're heading back to those urban centers, do you think the demand for living close to the office in a condo will increase, in the big cities at least?
I certainly think that there is a demand for condo living. And I certainly believe that in the big cities, especially where people are being called back to work, you may start seeing hybrid situations where somebody's, staying in a condo Monday through Friday and then going back out to their house further away from the city on the weekends. You might start seeing these kinds of things. Do I think that it's a safe investment strategy and a safe bet that that's absolutely going to happen? No, I don't. But again, if you're buying a larger size unit and you plan on holding it long term, I think you'll be okay, especially with the prices that we have right now. If you're not buying for a long-term strategy, if you're buying for a temporary strategy, it's probably not the right time.
And finally, I want to ask you about buying a condo on spec. So in other words, purchasing pre-construction, so you're putting a lower amount down for something that will be built. Is now a good time to do that?
Well, there's not so many condos that are coming out in the next little bit, so there may not be as many opportunities for pre-construction, but we can absolutely talk about the pre-construction market that has happened in the past and where we are today. There are lots of pre-construction projects that are coming out into the market right now where people are trying to assign those condos to other people. So if you're in the situation where somebody is trying to sell you their assignment, I would be very cautious. A lot of the time, these buildings are having trouble actually getting people to move into them and to complete their purchases. They may be very small units. It's sort of sight unseen for some of them. And I would be absolutely very cautious. And in terms of pre-construction, if you were to look at a net new pre-construction, again, it's always safer to see what you're buying ahead of time. I feel like right now with the fluctuation we've seen, even if you look at the average price per square foot in Toronto, for example, in 2025, the average price per square foot was approximately $903 of condos, and now it's up to $1.187, so $1,187. That's a big increase. So you don't know what the market's going to look like in the next little bit, and this can be quite risky.
Well, Leah Zlatkin, mortgage broker, thank you for your thoughts this morning. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Coming up, the science behind a new cutting-edge treatment for Huntington's disease.
Once it's been administered, it doesn't need to be given again, and the treatment remains active for the person's life.
Doctors in the UK have successfully treated Huntington's disease for the first time ever. The disease is a devastating degenerative illness that runs in families. It's caused by a single gene defect that slowly kills brain cells, leading to dementia, paralysis, and then death. For more on this cutting-edge treatment, I am joined by Edward Wild. He is the Associate Director of the UCL Huntington's Disease Center and Senior Investigator on the trial. He joins us from London this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. It's lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
So walk us through, how does the treatment work?
So the treatment is a gene therapy, which means that it is a one-off treatment, a one-shot treatment. Once it's been administered, it doesn't need to be given again, and the treatment remains active for the person's life. So what we do is it's a 12-hour, roughly, neurosurgical operation, and this gene therapy is injected directly into the substance of the brain, an important part of the brain in Huntington's disease called the striatum, which is really important for movement and thinking skills, which all are affected by Huntington's disease. So once the gene therapy has been injected into the brain, it contains a virus, a harmless virus, which in turn contains a stretch of DNA that has been specifically designed to accomplish one thing, which is to tell neurons to make less of the harmful protein that causes Huntington's disease. So we're not editing the person's own genome, we're adding an extra little bit of DNA, which essentially reprograms the neurons not to make as much of the protein that is harming them. And it's all a technique that stems from the discovery of the Huntington's disease gene in 1993. But it's taken this long really to turn it into a treatment that is meaningful and actually alters the clinical progression of Huntington's disease.
It's really incredible. So this treatment, this surgical procedure, I understand, slowed progress of the disease by, what, 75% in patients after 3 years. What did that look like for patients in terms of their symptoms?
Well, thank you for putting that number on the screen, because honestly, I keep having to check that I'm not dreaming when I hit the 75% figure. This is the first time anything has worked to slow the progression of HD. And the fact that it's a 75% slowing of progression with the first thing that works is just beyond our wildest dreams. I should say diplomatically, and for the record, I'm based in the UK, but this was a multi-site study, multinational study at sites in the US and Poland as well as the UK. So it's a true international collaboration. What that means for patients is that they could have years or decades of either high quality life with minimal disability, or if we can get the drug, the gene therapy, delivered to patients who have the mutation that causes HD but don't yet have symptoms, then we could be in the business of preventing or delaying onset. And with a 75% slowing of progression, if that's done early enough, we could end up in a situation where for the first time our patients can look forward to a healthy, happy old age.
Edward, this is incredible. And you mentioned, like, this is not a dream for you. This is real. What is this moment like for you to see the success of this treatment?
For me personally, I've been working in HD for almost exactly 20 years. It's 19 years and 11 and a half months. And it's a week of coincidences. It's also almost exactly 10 years since I gave the first dose of a Huntington lowering drug, a drug that lowers the production of the protein. And so it's been a long journey for me, but that is nothing compared to how long families affected by HD have been struggling with this illness from generation to generation with no hope. And what really this news represents is the first result that finally rewards all of the work that the community of families has put in to understanding the disease and helping us to develop and test these treatments. It's a great day for the HD community, and this result belongs to everyone.
And when do you expect this treatment could become available?
So the Unicure, who make the drug, are already in intense discussions with the FDA, the US regulator, and it's in my opinion, I don't want to get ahead of anything, but in my opinion, it's very likely that the FDA will approve that drug, and that could happen as early as the first few months of 2026. So not long at all. There will, of course, then be, and in parallel, in fact, there'll be discussions with the other regulators in Canada, the UK, Europe, and elsewhere. And the hope is that this drug will be approved rapidly. There will be a question about cost. Mm-hmm. Gene therapy is always expensive, but it's important to remember that cost is all upfront. And so an expensive treatment that only has to be given once, but gives people years of healthy life, could end up being a fairly straightforward case to make, even on the financial level.
Edward Wild, congratulations to you and the entire team, senior investigator on the trial. Thanks for walking us through.
Thank you.
2 in every 5 Canadians will be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their life. And today we are seeing more young people getting this diagnosis. And that includes our next guest, Erica Howe, a PWHL goaltender, a trailblazer in women's hockey, and a woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 32. Erica is joining us in studio this morning. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Happy to be here. Yeah, and it's such an important conversation to have,
yeah,
so thank
definitely.
you. So take me back to last fall when you were diagnosed with cancer. You heard the words, you have cancer. Do you remember what went through your mind at the time?
Yeah, getting that phone call was definitely one of the most surprising phone calls of my life. Leading up to that point, I had a ton of tests done, and I didn't think anything of it. I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm fit. I was a professional athlete 2 months before, and getting that phone call changed everything, right? Like, I I don't know what I was thinking exactly. I think I was just thinking one foot in front of the other. Like I didn't have any information. When you're first diagnosed with cancer, you don't know anything, just that you have cancer. So I think I didn't want to get too far ahead of myself. I was at work, I'm a firefighter, so I kind of leaned into that, told the guys at work. They rallied around me. I stayed there for the day, hoping that just, maybe giving back or going to calls or helping someone else out would just help me get through that day until I had more answers. But it was definitely very scary and very eye-opening that it could happen to someone like me.
So what do the next weeks and months look like for you?
A lot of late nights, a lot of no sleep. My wife and I just trying to do the best we can. My dad actually passed away from cancer when I was 16.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I kind of relied on that, right? Like, what did I do then? And that was one foot, one day at a time, trying to do as many normal activities as I could. And then it was just testing, CTs, MRIs, trying to figure out how far it spread until final diagnosis was stage 2. And from there, I got my plan. Chemo, radiation, this is what we'll do moving forward. And that almost gave me peace, knowing that we had answers. Exactly.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get that plan?
About 2 months.
About 2 months.
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about your wife, you credit your wife, your teammates, your firefighter colleagues for really getting you through the last year. What has that support meant to you?
Yeah, it means everything. One of the first thoughts I had was, I have so much love and support. I think it's gonna be overwhelming. And then you realize what a cancer diagnosis actually means, and you don't have any aspect of yourself. But having the firefighters step up, they covered my shifts, and the Toronto Scepters did a game for me to support me. Having all that meant everything to me and meant I could just focus on my cancer treatment.
And to get better. You were 32 at the time of your diagnosis. That is unfortunately not so young or so rare anymore. What do you want other young people to know about cancer?
I think for other young people, my main message is, if you feel off, if something's wrong, go get checked. I think for myself, I wouldn't have gone and get checked out. My teammates encouraged me and said, this could be something. Go to your family doctor, have them look at it. And fortunately, my family doctor pushed me through. But I think sometimes as young people, we don't want to be a nuisance or we don't want to be annoying. But, there's a lot of bravery in being able to ask and advocate for yourself. So go get checked out. And, you never know.
You never know.
Early detection can save lives.
Absolutely. I want to switch gears a little bit. The PWHL is gearing up for a 3rd season. As a former Toronto goaltender, what are your thoughts heading into the season?
I'm just really excited. I played in the inaugural season.
Yeah,
the fans
so
were
cool.
amazing. Yeah, and I think it's just going to push forward. The more we invest in women's sports, the fans have shown up in troves, and I'm just excited to see my ex-teammates go out there and perform and just get to focus on the on-ice.
Yeah, so fun. This Saturday, you're going to be lacing up for the Road Hockey to Conquer Cancer event in support of Princess Margaret Cancer Centre. What does this event mean to you now?
Yeah, this past year, I've seen firsthand how important early detection is, how important treatments are, how important support is. And I think for me, my plan was clear as soon as I walked into that doctor's office, and that's because of all the treatment and all the research that had gone into it. And the Princess Margaret is a leader in that. So now being able to be post-cancer journey, looking back on it and participate, it means everything to me, especially alongside some of my teammates. Renata Fast, Blair Turnbull's gonna be there, they'll be playing. And along my firefighters, they've put in a team too. So it just means everything to be able to pay it forward.
You have an awesome support system around you.
I do.
How are you feeling today?
I feel way better. The last 4 weeks, definitely, I was in a fog there where it's like, is this gonna get better? When am I gonna feel better? But the last 4 weeks have definitely been better. I've been putting back the pieces of my life and trying to find my new normal.
Erica, thank you for stopping by today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Monday on Your Morning, the rich history, traditions, and food of the Mid-Autumn Festival. That is all for us today on Your Morning. Don't forget, scan the QR codes to subscribe to Your Morning, our newsletter, and you can listen to some great conversations on Your Morning, the podcast.
Guys, on Monday on the show, Real Housewives fans, get ready because Meredith and Brooks Marks from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City will be here live in studio. Do you guys watch?
I do not watch, but it has been said that of all of the cities in the franchise, Salt Lake City is the one to watch, and I'm so glad they're here.
Next week is also the week before Thanksgiving. So if you're hosting on Tuesday, we'll have upgraded side recipes, and then on Wednesday, we're gonna get your house ready to refresh it before your company arrives.
I need both of those, so I can't wait to watch both of those. And Lindsay, on Friday, we've got your sit down with Roseburn, whom I love. What is she like?
She's so great. She's so great. It was such a
so
fun
good
interview.
when that happens.
I know, agree.
That's great.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye, Canada.